In this short video, we're going to look at the technique of customer journey mapping. And on your reading list, you have a guide for practitioners from HM Government. Customer journey maps are used to understand how an existing service works, or it can also be used to plan and prototype a new service. They show services and experiences from a user's point of view, and they can highlight weaknesses and inefficiencies to show us areas which can be improved, or also where new opportunities exist. It helps create empathy with different types of people by creating a better understanding of how the service actually impacts on them. And it helps us think about our users in a holistic way, rather than just their interactions at one point of the service. Often in services we run, we know what happens when we interact with services, but we can be with service users, but we can be a little bit hazy about what goes on before they come to us and after they leave us. So we're looking at a person's experience over time, how they become aware of a service, how they join it, how they use it, how they might maintain or grow that use, and then ultimately how they leave it. So we're tracking an experience to look, as I said, for problems and opportunities. So in that aware moment, the join moment, the use and the leave. And I'm going to use the example of opening a bank account. So interacting with a bank service, the service of providing bank accounts to new users. And in this particular case, we're talking about UK bank accounts and international users. So these customer journey maps are based on real stories. So Hans had come from India to study in Scotland, and he was aware that he was going to need to open a UK bank account because he had certain things that were going to have to come straight out of that bank account. For example, paying for his flat, for utilities, for his mobile phone, in fact to be able to set up his mobile phone and to pay his university fees. And he became aware of a particular bank when he arrived at Edinburgh Airport, because there was great big billboards that said, "We're with you all the way," with smiling, happy people, which made him feel reassured that actually banks were, open for business, looking for new customers, and were going to treat them well. So he joined, or tried to join, this particular bank, and he went into the imposing bank building on the high street, and was told by the teller, "You'll need to fill in the forms online and then come back with them." And he actually asked, "Is there a computer here that I could fill them in on?" And they said, no, these computers are all just for bank use. No, you'll have to go away and come back and do it. So he did that, and 2 weeks elapsed, and he called the bank 6 times, not from his phone, but from a friend's phone. He sent them 3 emails. He visited the high street bank twice, and he still had no card. So as you can imagine, he felt pretty angry. So he didn't get to the maintaining or using stage of a customer journey. He left and he simply went to another bank. Aishwarya's experience was similar to Hans in the beginning, in that she became aware before she left India that she was going to need to open a UK bank account because she had the same issues to pay for flat, utility, phone, etc. But she came across, again in the bank in a similar sort of way to Hans, but when she went into the branch, they just said, "Yep, we can help." And literally 3 days later, she had her bank card through her letterbox. And she'll use the bank during her time in the UK. She's unlikely to grow or maintain her use by opening other accounts or taking out a mortgage, etc. But we know she will leave, because when she leaves the UK, she'll no longer need this bank account. But she's going to leave them with a really positive view. And in fact, already her positive view is being spread throughout her friends in India on Facebook, because as soon as her bank card arrived, she's telling other people how fantastic that is. She can go shopping. And so she's sharing that, and that bank's getting a really positive publicity for providing a good service. So 2 people trying to do the same thing, but with very different experiences. And if we look at that, if we put this out as a journey map and look at those different points. And we're looking at Hans's one here particularly. The real pain point for Hans came when he wanted to join the bank. You know, being told you need to fill in the forms online and come back is just not a satisfactory way of operating. But by looking at that, we can also see, well, where are the opportunities here? And at this early stage, when people are becoming aware about the bank, this could be being done at Freshers Week. You know, the banks could be at Freshers Week when everybody's arriving with their visas, all their passports, all their relevant paperwork, etc., and signing students up there and then helping them do the forms, doing it on tablets, you know, getting them online straight away. And they could be pairing up with mobile phone companies where you've got all the data that's needed to make sure that somebody can pay for an account and they've got a right to be in the country, etc. And they could be signing students up while they're actually, you know, all there already, all wanting to do the same thing, and giving these students a really good experience of arriving in the country, getting connected, having the money they need when they need it. So what we'd like you to do is create a journey map for an aspect of a service that you are involved in or that you know very well. And we'd like you to map the existing service, how it is now, not how it should be, and map as many elements of the service as possible to try and understand the journey that a user takes through the service. And it might involve elements that are provided by other agencies. So show the service using visuals and text, because this thing of using visuals, which you've been introduced to, really helps make it shareable and people to understand very quickly with a really quick scan what's going on. And highlight good areas, things that are working really well, and areas that need improvement. And a really quick way of doing this is just with smiley and sad faces. And look for where there are opportunities for improvement.